So micro means you're going to study in detail, macro means considered as a whole. So if the income of the consumer is less, they cannot offer more quantity. If you know the problems that may arise in the future, so you can avoid the problems or you can ready with the solution. Based on your product, you need to analyze which group of people are offered your product and their behavior. Marketing intermediaries are required in order to reach the manufactured goods to the final consumers. Hello everyone, I am Meghana from the Department of Commerce, lecturing in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. We are in the session 2 of Unit 2, subject Marketing Management. In the last session, we have discussed about marketing environment. In today's session, let us continue with the marketing environment. In today's class, let us discuss with importance of marketing environment and types of marketing environment. So let us start with today's session, importance of marketing environment. So the study of marketing environment is important for the manufacturer. So in order to take the decision, in order to take necessary decision, in order to improve their business, the study of marketing environment is important. So importance are identification of opportunities. By studying the marketing environment, you can identify the opportunities, whether you can expand your business and you can find the opportunities. You can move to another product line. You can move from one product line to different product lines. So the availability in the market. So you can identify the all the availabilities in the market, as well as identification of threats. Identification of threats, it acts as a caution. So you can identify the threats so that you can take necessary steps or you can ready with the solution. If you know the problems that may arise in the future, so you can avoid the problems or you can ready with the solution. You can ready with the alternative solution, so that it helps to identify the opportunities as well as threats. Next, managing changes. So marketing environment, market is change from time to time. So you need to be flexible. You need to adopt the changes. So it helps in managing these changes. You need to regularly update it with the changes in the market so that you can manage the changes. For example, nano car. Nano car, while introducing the car into the market, they need to identify the analysis of marketing environment. The analysis of marketing environment helps to, it gives the opportunities. So it helps to identify the opportunities. The people are ready to purchase the car due to increase in the amount. So they are not afford to purchase the car. So they introduce nano car with a lower cost. So they identify these opportunities and they analyze the threats. So seating arrangement are less. So comfort is also less compared to others. Comfort traveling is also less. So they identify the threats as well. So they can ready with the solution. Then managing the changes. So when you are producing a different product means the changes in the market. You need to analyze the changes in the market so that you can adopt the changes. So in nanocore also you can make changes as required. So while producing this product, first they need to identify these opportunities. So marketing environment helps to identification of these opportunities so that they utilize this opportunity and they analyze the threats. And they're ready with the solution. So it helps in managing the changes. So the marketing environment helps to study all about the marketing environment, both the micro and macro environment, so they can take the necessary steps in improving their business. So this is all about importance of marketing environment. So next, types of marketing environment. Marketing environment can be classified into micro and macro environment. Marketing environment can be classified into micro and macro environment. Micro and macro environment. Here micro environment means you are going to study in detail. You are going to study in detail about all these factors. Macro environment means you are going to consider as a whole. So micro means you are going to study in detail. Macro means considered as a whole. So the micro environment is further classified into suppliers, marketing intermediaries, customers and competitors. So all these factors are important for the manufacturer, so that they are going to study in detail about these factors. Under micro environment, first one is suppliers. Supplier means the person who supplies raw material or required goods in order to produce goods. So you need to study the suppliers. You need to study the suppliers in details. So the quantity available with you. So quantity of raw material available and the number of suppliers you have and the alternative suppliers. So you need to study all about the suppliers. They supply the goods at a right time, at a right place, or else the suppliers are supplying the goods at a reasonable price or not. So you're going to concentrate on suppliers. If the more option or more availability of the suppliers helps to get the good quality of the product, good quality of the raw material at a reasonable price. So you need to have some raw material. You need to hold some raw material in order for the production process. In order to produce goods, you require raw materials. So stock available with you, as well as the supplier can supply the goods at a right time, at a right place. So you need to concentrate on suppliers. You need to study the supplier's behavior. That means supplier's activity. Next, marketing intermediaries. Marketing intermediaries are required in order to reach the manufactured goods to the final consumers. So in order to reach the goods from the manufacturer to the final consumer, marketing intermediaries are required. So they plays an important role in reaching the goods. So they plays an important role while reaching the goods from the manufacturer to the final consumers. Under marketing intermediaries, first one we have reseller. Reseller means they purchase goods from the manufacturer. They purchase goods from the manufacturer. They sell it to the consumer or final consumer. So they resell the products. They purchase from the manufacturer and resell it to the consumer. So this reseller, they purchase from the manufacturer and fix their margin of profit. They can increase the profit margin and sell it to the consumer. So how the reseller sells their product? So what is the margin of the product? If the cost of production is 100, the producer will sell it to 110, but the reseller, they fix high margin of profit. So they sell at 150. So it is a loss for manufacturer, as well as it's a burden for the consumer as well as the manufacturer. So you need to concentrate on reseller. Here every manufacturer need to study the reseller. So at what the cost of purchase for the reseller, as well as at what price he is selling in the market. So you need to consider reseller. Next, distribution centers. That means if the product is available easily to the consumers, the consumer prefer to purchase those products. So the availability of the product plays an important role while purchasing the product. So if your product is available all over the outlets, that means if your product is available where the demand is more, so the customer will purchase. They prefer to purchase your product. You need to look into the distribution centers. So you need to open the outlets to reach the consumer easily. So the consumer will get your product easily. So they prefer to purchase your product. Next, marketing agencies. Marketing agency, they helps to reach your product to the final consumers. So they give ideas or they use some strategy in order to reach customers. So you need to concentrate on, you need to study consumer agency or marketing agency. Next, customers. The main objective of every organization is to reach the final customers, or you need to satisfy the customers. The main objective is to satisfy the customer. Satisfy the customers. In order to satisfy the customers, they take all these steps. They are going to analyze, they are going to manufacture the goods according to the taste and preference of the customers, and they are going to analyze the marketing environment, and they take a necessary steps. They adopt the changes in order to satisfy customers. So the changes in customer needs and preference, the changes in customer needs and preference, as well as changes in the market, as well as if the product is satisfying. So you need to collect the feedback from the customers. Regularly, you need to get feedback from the customer, so that according to the changes in customer needs and preference, you can make a changes in your product as well, so that the customer is a center point for the manufacturer. So their main intention is to customer satisfaction. Every organization, if they want to stay longer period in the market, you need to satisfy the customer. So you need to keep update with the customers, maintain a good rapport with the customers. So you need to get a feedback from the customer, you need to suggest, you need to help after sale services, you need to provide after sale services to customers to satisfy the customer. Next, last one, competitors. So here competitors also plays an important role. So in order to success in the field of market, you need to concentrate on your competitors and competitor strategy, their product strategy, pricing, place and promotion strategy, how they make strategy in order to reach the customers. From analyzing the competitors, you can be ahead from your competitors. While pricing your products, if you analyze your competitor pricing strategy, you can make a better pricing strategy, so that the customer will get attracted towards your product. Then promotion strategy. If the competitor using a social media platform or any other platform for their promotional activity, means you can take the necessary steps, you can improve your promotional activity, so that by analyzing the competitor strategy, you can adopt, you can improve your strategies in order to success in the market. So analyzing the competitor is also plays an important role. The customer, they purchase the product which gives more benefit for them. So the customer, in order to satisfy the customer, you need to concentrate on competitors, so that if the competitor's product and your product have more benefit than the competitor's product, means the customer automatically they purchase your product. So analyzing the competitors strategy is important. So these all are the factors which you are going to study in detail under micro environment. So here detailed study helps to take the necessary steps and improve their business and improving their efficiency. So it helps in maximum utilization of available resources. So it helps in taking the necessary decision, and it helps in improving their activity. So this all about micro environment. Next, the first type is micro environment. Next, macro environment. Under macro environment, you are going to study the concept as a whole. Macro environment are further classified into demographic environment, economic environment, monetary and fiscal policy, socio-cultural environment, technological environment, and political and legal environment. So first one, demographic environment. Demographic environment is mainly based on the human population and their distribution. So it covers the birth and death rate, then gender ratio, then birth and death rate, birth and death rate, gender ratio, rate of literacy, then density of population, birth and death rate, gender ratio, then age group, next ethnic group, and rural and urban. So here you are going to mainly demographic environment. Under demographic environment, you are going to study the people and distribution of people. So total birth and death rate in a year, then gender ratio, male and female, then rate of literacy, then density of population, then age group. Age group means above 60, below 10, then between the 10 and 60. So next, ethnic group, then rural and urban. The population in rural area and urban area. So based on the population and based on all these factors, it helps to take the decision about their product. Take an example of age group. If the age group below the 10 and above the 60, the age group between these two groups, the demand for medicine is more. So that based on these factors, based on the population and distribution of the population, so your product, you can analyze the demand for your product. Lifestyle of the people is mainly based on the rural and urban area as well as rate of literacy. So based on these two factors, the lifestyle of the people, you can decide the lifestyle of the people. Then birth and death rate, then gender ratio. If you are producing a product for a woman, you need to concentrate, you will look at the female. So the ratio or the percentage of females. Then the gender ratio helps to know the females rate and male rate. So that based on this information, you can take the necessary steps. So mainly the demographic environment is a study of human population and their distribution. How the population are distributed among the different categories. So the age group category, then ethnic group, rural and urban area, then density of population, birth and death rate, then gender ratio as well as rate of literacy. So here you are going to study all this under demographic environment. Next, economic environment. Under economic environment, the manufacturer concentrate on the consumer who can purchase or the person who is having a purchasing power. So the purchasing power as well as the consumer income. So here the consumer income and purchasing power and willingness to purchase is the main intention, is the main factors under economic environment. Here under economic environment, it is further classified into inflation, interest rate, unemployment and customer income. So under the first one, inflation. Inflation means rise in the price, value of the rupees. So here also the rise in price of the goods and services. Inflation means rise in the price of goods as well as the services, so that the poor and middle class people, they cannot offer increased product. If the product price increases, they cannot offer such products. So inflation influence the consumer buying decision. So if the income of the consumer is less, they cannot offer more quantity. So for the same quantity and the quality, they cannot offer more. So the number of unit purchased, so the total unit purchase will come down. So that inflation affects on the consumer buying decision. Next, interest rate. Under interest rate, if the interest rate is higher, the customer cannot offer long-term borrowings or long-term luxurious goods. So if they offer for the long-term or luxurious product, they cannot offer for the regular or daily needs product. So that if the interest rate higher, the customer cannot offer for the luxurious product or long-term products. So you need to concentrate on interest rate. If possible, you can offer 0% interest. Then unemployment. Employment, it creates income among the people so that the customers or the people can offer, they can purchase goods or services. Unemployment rate, if the unemployment rate is higher, so the customer purchasing power is also come down. So here you need to study the employment and unemployment rate so that you can take the decision, the purchasing power of the consumers. You can decide the purchasing power of consumer. Then customer income. So customer income, based on their income, they spend the money. So their income, individual income to spend on their expenses. So you need to study the individual income. Next, monetary and fiscal policy. Changes in the monetary and fiscal policy, it will affect company's tax, company tax as well as individual tax and tax rates. It also, it affects in the pricing of product. So monetary and fiscal policy, changes in monetary and fiscal policy, you need to update with the changes so that you can fix the prices. You can concentrate on tax rate. Next, socio-cultural environment. Socio-cultural environment. Under that first, socio-environment. Under social environment, it refers to the social values of the consumer or social value of the people. So here, there are two group of people. One group, they say life is short, beg, borrow or steal, but enjoy the life. One group says life is short, beg, borrow or steal but enjoy your life. But in another group, they say just think of simple living. So you don't go for luxurious living, just think for simple living. So it based on their social values. So here there are two types of people. So you need to study two groups of people and their behavior. Based on the information, you can decide your product or you can take the decision. Compare the product what you are producing and this two group. So which group can offer your product? So here you need to study the social values of the consumers. Then cultural values. In cultural values also, you have two types or two groups. For example, women's wearing a jeans. So one group of people, they say just adopt the changes or update with the fashion. Other group says we are not update with the fashion, so we prefer our ethnic ways. We have these two types of groups. So based on your product, you need to analyze which group of people are offered your product and their behavior. If you are producing a jeans, means you need to concentrate on the first group who is ready to adopt the changes, who is update with the fashion. So you need to concentrate on that group and changes in their requirements. On you need to update with the changes and make a changes, adopt the changes in your business. Then technological environment. So technology is changing from time to time. So you need to adopt the changes for the effective work. So for the efficiency, to increase the efficiency as well as maximum utilization of available resources, you need to keep update with the technology. Changes in the technology, you need to update. So based on changes, you need to adopt the changes and increase your efficiency. Then last one, political and legal environment. So changes in the political as well as the legal factors. So change in the political parties, then rules and regulation, changes in the rules and regulation. Then you need to keep update with the changes in the political and legal environment so that you can make the necessary changes. So this all factors comes under macro environment. Here you are going to study as a whole. You are not going to consider a single factors or you are not going to concentrate on a single group of people. Here you will consider as a whole. But in micro environment, you are going to study in detail. So because this micro environment, all the factors comes under micro environment is more important for the manufacturer to produce their product and to distribute and to reach the final consumers. So these all are the factors which is more important for the manufacturer. So you are going to study in detail about the micro environment. But in macro environment, these factors are also important, but you are going to study as a whole. You are not going to study in detail. So these all are the factors comes under macro environment. This is all about today's session. Let us meet with the next session. Until then, keep watching. Thank you.